So are you ready to sew? Today is our first day where you're actually going to be sewing and learning a stitch, and it is called the running stitch. You're going to need one piece of your Halloween witch fabric, any color thread you want. I'm going to use white because that'll show up really good, but you can use whatever color you want. Your needle and a pair of scissors, okay? So just a quick reminder of how to do your thread to thread your needle. So you're going to want to get a nice piece of thread, start at your fingers, and I would just keep going until about to your shoulder. That should be a good length, maybe a little longer. Make sure that end has a nice clean cut. If it doesn't, cut it so that it has a nice clean cut, and then lick it. Put it right through that little hole in your needle. Once it's through, pull it. Turn it around, and we're going to keep on pulling until we line them up pretty good. And as you can see, mine are not, so I'm actually going to just pull that other side that was too short. So a little bit until they're close. And that didn't work, so I'm just going to cut it. As you can see, what I just did, people do that a lot when they're sewing. If you do, it's a bad habit. A lot of people put it in something like a pin cushion. I have a bad habit of I don't put it in between my teeth, but in between my lips, so that I hold it. A lot of seamstresses, people who sew, do that. Just be careful because you don't want to bite down on the needle. It'll actually dent your teeth. Okay, so you're going to take the end, focus. Stop focusing on my thread, focus on my face. All right, there we go. Put it on top of your needle, switch fingers, squeeze that side, wrap it 1, 2, 3. So I have those little loops. Take my other hand, squeeze it, and then I'm just going to slide it down until it knots. There's my little knot. Okay. So now I'm ready. So once you have yours knotted and ready, then we're going to get our thread and we're going to do what's called a running stitch. I'm going to flip my camera so you can see. Okay, so on a running stitch, you are just going to be going, it's a pattern. You're going to go from underneath, above, underneath, above. All right. Now, as you can see how this fabric looks really nice and crisp on this side, and this side you can see the pattern, but you can tell that this is not the pretty side. This is just the back side. You want your little knot to show on the back side. So start from the back. So I'm going to start my needle in. I'm just going to start at the corner. And I'm going to put my needle through and then just pull it until that knot catches. Okay, so this is going to be the underside. So if somebody was looking at my fabric, they would not see my knot. All right, now I'm on top. So I'm going to try to space them evenly, like make my my stitches about the same length apart. So I'm going to go in and pull until, don't pull real hard because it'll pucker. You just want to pull till it's in. If I keep pulling, look what happens. It like squeezes it together. I want to see that stitch. Okay, so now, remember pattern, I went above, so now I'm going to go below. So I'm going to do my stitch in from the back. It's hard because I'm trying to do this around the camera. So go in from the back. Ooh. I can't do it on the camera. Let's try again. There we go. It's not evenly apart. Okay, then pull until you can feel it kind of tug, but you don't want to pull too tight. And then you're just going to keep doing that. You're going to go in from the one side, pull, and then you're going to go up from the back and pull. And you just keep doing that. Now already I can see that mine aren't very even. See what happened there? I pulled too hard and look, it's all coming. If that happens to you, if it all like starts scrunching up, just grab your fabric and gently tug it till it's straight, okay? But now do you see how this one was shorter and that one is longer? That's what you kind of don't want. When it's a running stitch, you want it to try to be even so that all of these are about the same length. That's tricky to do, and I'm definitely having trouble doing it on the camera. Now notice I just poked my finger. It shouldn't, as long as you're not pushing hard, it shouldn't really hurt. So just be careful of where your thumb is. Another option of what you could do if this is proving to be really hard for you, is that you can do this. Ready? Pull and then flip your fabric over so that you are always going down from the top. That's another option of something that you could do. pull it, and then just keep flipping your fabric over. As long as it's something little, that is an option of something you can do. And see, now that stitches were going all the way across my fabric. Now, usually when you would be sewing, you wouldn't keep just doing a line like what we're doing just on a piece of fabric for no reason. This is just so you can learn how to do the stitch. But if we folded this in half and did this, then we would actually be sewing the two pieces together. See how my stitches are getting better as I go? So what I want you to do is keep practicing going all the way across your fabric, trying to get your stitches even. And I want you to do this several times today because your first line might not look very good. It might be amazing. You never know. Now, when you are done, I've gotten pretty much across what I want you to do to finish off your knot. Because if I just cut this like this, it's going to pull right out because there's nothing keeping it there. I have to do a knot. So I want to show you how to do a knot. What you're going to do, take your needle, and you want to do this on the back side, just like we did the original knot, so that nobody would see it on the pretty side of the fabric, on the front side. So you're going to take your knot and you're going to go in just a tiny bit, get a little tiny bit of fabric, just a little tiny piece. All right. See how I went through? And then before I pull it all the way like I was doing before, I want to wait until there's just a little loop. See how I have a little loop there? And now I'm going to go through that loop. Loop-de-loop, go through it. And then when you pull, it makes a little knot. Now, if I only do it just that one time, that might not be enough to stay. So I'm going to do it 2 times. So now I'm going to go through again and pull till it gets a little, see that little loop? I'm going to go through it. I went in between and now I'm going to pull it. And now I have a decent knot that should keep it so that, sorry, my camera does not want to focus. Focus. So that when I cut this, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave just a little extra out. So now it won't pull through. So now I have a decent running stitch on my fabric. So is it going to be perfect the first time you do it? Is it going to be perfect the second time? Maybe. Probably not. Mine wasn't perfect, and I've done this tons and tons of times. I'm blaming the camera. But do it several times today, all right? So once you have that one done, you could do it. Here's the first stitch. You could do another stitch going across. You could just do several rows of stitches. You could do each one of the edges going around in like a square so that there's a little border around your fabric. But do it several times. I want you to do it at least 3 or 4 times all the way across your fabric. Only use that one piece of witch's fabric. I know I gave you 2, but the other one is for something else when we do buttons. Okay? So I'll let you know how it goes. I hope we find it not too tricky. And go.